I'm gonna start setting up the interface for switching the hands the same way as I started the one for the mouth. I'm gonna go to front view, make a rectangle with my EP curve tool and a curve degree of 1. Snap it to the grid. And duplicate it to the other side. So pivot and move it. Always name it. Duplicate it. This is going to be my left hand interface. And right hand interface. Move this hands up. Actually, move this up just because of the naming. I don't care what the ones inside the interface are named, but I want this to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Same on the other side. I don't care what the ones inside the interface are. All I care about is the names on these. 3, 4. Okay, make this rectangle a little bit bigger. Just so that I can fit an arrow in there. Make it like that. And I'll duplicate this arrow here. Control D. I'm gonna unparent it. So if I open up my outliner, it's gonna be inside of the Satan placement group, and then somewhere in there. So I just wanna hit Shift P to unparent, or go to Edit, Unparent, Shift P. I'm gonna hit it a few times until it gets out of the group and it's outside by itself. I want to unlock these channels. Where's my unlock? Unlock selected. So that I can move it and place it where it's supposed to go. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. This time we'll start it from the inside out. Duplicate it and take it to the other side. Freeze transformations. And I always delete history, but on mine this curve doesn't have any history. Same here, freeze transformations. Make sure that it's snapped to a line in the grid. It is. And now I'll go into my animation and animate. Set driven key set. And again, the exact same process. as in the math, load the driver, load the driven, and what I want to control is the visibility in these, and the translate X on my arrow. Before I do that, I want to rename it. This is my right hand driver error. Rename it. Hand driver arrow left. Okay, reload it because it has a different name here. Load driver. Start with hand 1. So I want to select this. Translate X. And key it. Once it moves to the next hand, I want the visibility to turn off and key. On off. Move on to the next one, which is hand 2. So key it. And when it moves away, turn the visibility off. Key it. When it moves to the other hand, I also want to turn it off. Key it. So this is, I'm gonna do this for every hand, both left and right. After this, I will start setting up the attribute for this costume that I have on this side. But if the process is clear to you, you can skip to the next video. That's all I'm gonna do on this one. Visibility of hand 3. Select hand 3, visibility key, and when it's away, the visibility of hand 3, turn off key, and turn it off when it goes back. Here. Good. Last hand, this is hand 4. Visibility key. And when it moves away, the visibility on this hand is going to be turned off. Key. I want to test it. Oops, something's wrong. Let me undo. Visibility for on. Key. Oh. Key. And when it moves away, visibility on this hand turns off. Key. Test that one more time. I want to set limits to my arrow. So open up the attribute editor, go to the first tab, the hand driver arrow basic attributes, limit information, translate, and I want a minimum of channel box. Oops, current. Actually, this is going to be the maximum. The maximum is going to be 0 because it goes from right to left, and the minimum is going to be -23. -23. Just so that it doesn't go out of the boundary of the rectangle here. This is set. Lock the channels that I don't need, which is every channel other than the translate X. Where's my lock? Lock selected. And I probably want to parent everything inside the rectangle. All of these. I'll parent them to this rectangle here. And I'll do the same with the arrow. And then the interface itself, which is here. Oops. What happened right now is that when I parented this arrow to the interface, it switched the translate X attribute of this arrow to -109. So what I'm going to do is group it to itself. So Control G. I'll call it left hand arrow group. And what I'll do is parent that parent the group to the box so that my arrow doesn't move and it remains at 0. I should probably center pivot on it. Modify center pivot, just in case it might not be necessary. Finally, I want to parent this rectangle to my Satan placement P, so that whenever I move this, it moves along with it. I want to place the hands. I want to get rid of this closed hand because I like this one better, so I don't need these. Actually, maybe just for placement. Move its hand over. Center it. And parent it to the hand joint here. So again, I'm not deleting this one yet, just so that I can snap my hands to this original one and it can keep the placement right in front of the forearm. So now select these. I can freeze transformations now. Hold Shift, get my right wrist joint, hit P to parent. Move to the next hand. Snap it. Snapped it to the wrong thing, so make sure that we snap to the right object. Should probably rotate it a little bit. freeze transformations. And it doesn't really matter if you freeze transformations, because once it gets parented to the right wrist joint, it's gonna take the transform attributes from its parent. So hit P, and there it is. Move on to the next one. Move it. Place it. Center it. And parent it to that hand joint, or wrist joint rather. I'm gonna move it just to make sure that it's working. It's working. Again, I'm gonna look the channels later on in these controls so that it doesn't move on the C-axis. Move on to the next hand. Place it. And this hand is so much better. And parent it. P. I want to delete this hand. I don't need it anymore. And no, I snapped it to the wrong object. So just make sure that it's snapped in the right place. Get rid of this hand. Delete. And I want to test it. And that's exactly what I want. I want to make sure that the only two channels on this control that are unlocked are the translate Y and translate X. So lock every other channel. Highlight them and lock selected. So that whenever I select these, it doesn't move and twists my model out of shape. Okay, so that's the basic setup for the hand. I'm gonna do the other side, and I'll continue to do this outfit on the next video. So it's the same process, left and right.